Today I'm excited to check out a new trail. It's called Olomana. Apparently it's the most beautiful trail on the island. This trail has 3 peaks. I read some reviews on all trails, and it was actually a little bit scary. A bunch of people have died on this trail because it has some steep sections. All the reviews on all trails said if you have fear of heights, skip this trail. But I'm okay, I don't have fear of heights, and I only plan to go till the first peak. This trail has 3 peaks. First peak has the best views and everything. It's going to be a little bit treacherous to get to the second peak, and third peak apparently is the most hardest and most dangerous one. So the first peak is all I'm trying to go and get to today. The first peak has some amazing views. I'm trying to capture some of those views today on my GoPro. So the parking situation is a little bit tight. There is no dedicated parking spot. I just asked all trails to navigate to the start point, and it brought me to a street before the entrance to the golf course. I'm just parked right on the side of the road, not on the road, and there is a sign which says do not park on asphalt, there will be fines. And if you park right at the trailhead, you will be towed. So all these instructions are available on all trails. We'll start hiking the Olamana trail soon. Now let's look at the preview of the trail from All Trails app. This is a really neat feature. You can see the first peak, second peak, and third peak clearly. From the parking spot to the start of the trail, it's about a mile walk. Took about 14 minutes to get to the trailhead. The trail is covered for the most part, which I really like, which means you're hiking in shade and the sun is not beating down on you. I'm really glad my friend Joelle joined me on this trail. It was her idea actually. She is a very experienced hiker, and it always helps to hike with experienced folks. Throughout the hike, you have some bunch of scrambles like this. This is one of the reasons I didn't bring tank on this hike. I would have to carry 90-pound black lab to get past this one. I'm happy with that decision.
Right.
Had fun.
Yeah.
This was super fun. I can't remember another trail where I had to use ropes. This was the first point where the scene opened up and I could shoot a beautiful panoramic view. So very close to the first peak, you'll come across this giant rock, and so there are 2 ways of doing this. Both are pretty scary. So Joel thinks, if you go to the left side, it's pretty easy, but it is super scary. You have to have a 3-point contact at all times. But if you do the right side, you need a lot of upper body strength. So depending on these factors, you can choose your poison. At this point, I had no idea where Joel disappeared. Oh wow, look at that!
Yeah. It's not bad. Hold on to the mountain and hold on to the roof. Here we go.
So Joel convinced all 3 guys, 4 guys including me, to take this route on the left. And then you get to walk for a minute or 2 on this ridge. While I was hiking this ridge, it felt pretty cool. I knew the first peak was getting closer and closer. I couldn't wait for the first peak to show up. And then this giant rock shows up. So you have to get past this one to reach the first peak.
I promise this is sweat in my pants, by the way.
Yeah, if you ever get a drone, it looks pretty sick from the footage with the 360. My buddy had, yeah. Highly recommend doing this with a drone.
This was the moment I decided I had to get a drone finally. And a couple days later, I went ahead and bought a drone. And finally, we were at the top of the first peak. This is what the view looks like from the first peak, and that is the third peak you're seeing from the first peak. I'm not exaggerating when I say this view was totally worth all the effort. You had to be there. In my opinion, the camera doesn't do enough justice. We took some pictures at the top of the first peak and decided to head down. Going to the second peak or third peak was not worth the risk. A lot of people have died past the first peak. Maybe one day I'll make up my mind to go to the second or third peak, but today was not the day. Alright, I just finished the Olamana hike. Joelle was super helpful. She was like a mountain goat. She has done this hike for like 3 dozen times. As far as my experience is concerned, I really like this hike. There was at some points I was really scared of the steep cliff. This hike has a lot of scrambles. I only did this until the first peak. Probably some other time I'm going to try the second and the third peak. It was scary. I'm usually not scared of heights, but there are some points on this trail you have to be really careful. You have to have at least like a 3-point contact, while you're moving. There are some steep cliffs. A single misstep could cost you your life. I highly recommend to be careful. If you are afraid of heights, I highly recommend choosing a different hike. But if you like scrambles and if you like a little bit of a challenge, Olomana is a pretty good fun hike. For comparison, I would say this is somewhat similar to Angel's Landing, or if you've been to Inca Trail and if you have done the Huayna Picchu, it's more similar to those ones. There are steep ledges, you have to move carefully, but overall the views were amazing. You can see the third peak from the first peak and the whole panorama of the island. That view is totally worth it. Olamana has become one of my favorite hikes. Now I'm going to go and get some dessert. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I'll see you in my next one.